Okay, mate. So yeah, you nibbled on NKN. You got your average down to that. Should you throw it out of your collection or hodl? Hmm. Now, I know I did post about it. I posted about it 2 days ago, at least, and it was green then. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it yesterday as well. Obviously, in hindsight, 2 days ago when I posted about it, it was green and it looked like it was going to go higher. It looked like it wanted to make that run. Um, Obviously, it ended up failing, turning red and dropping. And this was a rejection, and we've been rollover ever since. I did have thoughts that this probably should make at least an attempt up here to create a bit of a stop hunt or rejection up in here. It's down 8% today, which is obviously not good. So I just zoomed up here. Um, yeah, the 12th, 7th, the 12th. Where did I see it there? Oh, yeah, here. So we can see, 2 days ago when I posted about it, it was green 2 days ago, up into the green 20 EMA. I don't know if you can see that there. And then it just, whatever happened at that point, that's almost exactly when it got rejected. And from that rejection, we rolled over. So at this point, God, it's tough to say. I mean, sometimes you do actually kind of break down before getting your move back up, and that kind of stop hunts everybody before the real bounce. And of course, sometimes it fails and just keeps rolling. So it's now become a tricky situation. The 2 week is now um, it's red, but it's also an inside bar. If we finished here like this on an inside bar, there's a good chance that on a new 2 week candle that it may want to kind of pop down and this inside bar might be a sign of a bit of a reversal, and then it might try and carve out a bottom before bouncing. So it really depends. There's 4 days left, so it's really going to depend how we close here. But if we get a 2 week inside bar, it can be a powerful signal. I mean, this was a 2 week inside bar here, and you can see that it was a 2 week bar continuation, a 2 week inside bar continuation. We got that drop. Um, they can be powerful. And then the one before that was I thought that was an inside bar. It's not an inside bar. The last time we got an inside bar before that was right here. Was this doji candle right here? And you can see on a pierce below that, the market actually bottomed. Even though this was very bearish structure and looked terrible, and we had this big, huge rejection wick here, we got an inside bar on a 2 week candle, and a pierce below the inside bar actually bottomed the market. And then we consolidated and barred it back to the upside. So they can be powerful. 4 days left, so it's tricky to see, how this is going to play out. Everything obviously depends on Bitcoin now. Is Bitcoin going to hold these levels and get that bounce? We have the unlocking of GBTC this week on the 18th, 4 days time. Actually, the locking's on Monday. If I go to a 2 week chart, the locking is in 4 days time as well. So it's going to be extremely interesting. A new 2 week candle and the unlocking as well. Okay, so if this was me in this position, I can't tell you what to do, but I can just tell you what I would usually do. If I take a trade and it goes bad like this, what I do automatically is I just pull the trigger and I cut 50% of it, and I just take that 50% of a loss, and then I let that other 50% just try and work itself out. Sometimes if it just keeps dropping and looks very bearish, I will end up cutting all of it. And if it does, if it actually puts in the bottom and bounces, then all well and good. But at least my risk is now lowered, and I'm not going to be taking as big a loss if it continues to go bad. Of course, other times I will just cut it. It's never nice being down 8%. It's actually bounced here now. Actually getting a bit of a bounce here. So, may get that bounce back up into, if we do bounce back up in here somewhere, maybe then you could try and cut 50% of it just to protect yourself if you like. Now, then another tactic that I use is, for example, say I'm down $1,000. For example, on this trade, I bought NKN and I'm down $1,000. Now, what I like to do as well is, I would try and make another trade and make $500 or $1,000 back, and say I made 500 back on another trade, then I would automatically close the profitable 500 trade, and then I would close 500, half of this, and then I'm basically break even on my on that part of the trade, and then I'm only holding, for example, the $500 loss, and then I can continue to work that and try and dig myself out of that hole, get another trade and make $200, for example, and then you're only down $300 and make another trade, and and try and make $300 on another trade, and continue to dig out of that hole and close that as you become profitable. Now, this is not always easy, depend on the market, but it's what I try to do quite a lot of the times. That's not a strategy for everybody. That might not work. You might dig yourself into a bigger hole. I'm just letting you know the way I manage some losses. At this point, it looks like we're going to stay red on the week, so it's likely not going to flip green. There's quite a bit of we're quite a bit of support here, in theory, because we have this order block all in here, and we have these pivot and pivot. Of course, the more times, more pivots in here, the more likely it is to break through that. But at this point, there definitely is still support in this area. So it's really up to you how you want to manage it. I've kind of explained how I would manage it. If you're concerned about it, I cut 50% straight away. Then otherwise, I like to try and maybe trade my way out of it. This will not turn green this week, I don't think. It's not looking likely. So it's one of those ones where you're either going to have to sweat it out or be very careful. Lastly here, now parabolic moves like to retrace 80 to 90%, and I've drew that very roughly. We'll take it to there. Now we are already down 88%, so we definitely are, in a dip of parabolic nature. And to be honest, when you zoom out, it doesn't look that strong. It looks like at some point this can go lower. So you definitely need to be careful.